Well over a dozen law enforcement agencies took part in this. Well over a dozen agencies. From the FBI to the Secret Service to multiple police stations and deputies, the sheriff's departments. I literally went through an entire year of abuse after Natalie died at the hands of officers and courts. And then none of these officers can take my report. They all make excuses why they can't. Which is what prevented me from having an honest day in court to begin with. Cops not willing to take a report. To this day, they refuse to take a report. That lady FBI agent, maybe she'll do her fucking job. Maybe she won't. The fact is, none of these people have taken a look at the evidence, not even one. So when they look on their computer to see what the fuck has been going on, they only get to see one side, and it's not my side. Why? Because these officers in every jurisdiction slandered my name, harassed me, picked on me, assaulted me. Thought it was hilarious. Every single jurisdiction, they refused to take a look at the evidence. They refused to even pretend for a moment that I might be a victim. That FBI agent in the first phone call, I found out I didn't have a lawyer and hung up. When the police at the Boulder Hospital on January 6th of last year heard from Miss Jerry that she doesn't know any lawyers, that's when they pounced. I started off trying to let him know what the fuck was going on. By the time we got to the Boulder Hospital, I was pretty well embroiled in defending myself against these fucking monsters. See, the Boulder Police Department had harassed me for an entire week. An entire week by that point. I take that back. That was day number 6. Not day number 7. The police in the jail thought it was hilarious. They kept making fun of me, refusing me the right to medical service, refusing me the right to write a report against those officers, making fun of me repeatedly for trying. The same thing they did at Clearview. I needed these people to leave me alone, and I needed the police to take a report. Calling 911 didn't work. Flagging the officers down didn't work. Calling their supervisors, that didn't work. Many of these officers refused to give me their names or badge numbers, and because I didn't have a phone handy that I could record everything, I just had to take it all. Officer Amanda Jonas, when I met her, was right after I lit that fire. And Officer Jonas and the other officers that were there, they lied outright. They slandered my name. They refused to take a police report from me. Lied outright and said that they would. As soon as we got to the hospital, and then when we got to the hospital, they left. So I told the security guard, where are the cops? Oh, well, they left already. I told him to bring them back. He refused, said that they weren't gonna. When they did come back, they assaulted the fuck out of me and put drugs in me. Again. This is what they do when you speak out against police. And then by refusing to look at any of the evidence, it magically makes it okay. Magically, I'm the bad guy. I am going to see to it that Alicia Bollinger ends up in prison. What she has done in the last 2.5 years is felonious. Her lies resulted in hundreds of people threatening my life. Her lies resulted in her sister's death. And I can prove this. The problem is getting someone to take a look. The police wouldn't take a look, so I tried putting it on Facebook. These other people can put stuff on Facebook, but I can't. These other people are allowed to make police reports from across jurisdictional lines, but I wasn't allowed to do that. These people are allowed to threaten, harass, and intimidate myself and my friends and family. Hundreds of times. But I'm not allowed to say those things back. The police are allowed to assault me, and no agency will investigate. At this point in time, see, here's the thing. If they'd have done their job as soon as Natalie died, and taken my goddamn report like their job requires, none of this ever would have happened. None of these hundreds of other situations would have happened. But the police outright refused. The FBI outright refused. The Secret Service outright refused. They'll investigate me because I'm trying to speak out against them and trying to get them prison time for their illegal activities. What they did is illegal. But it's only illegal if people care. If nobody cares, you can go shoot a prostitute. If nobody cares about a prostitute, you can go rape her and shoot her in the head. And nobody's ever going to investigate it. If she's homeless, they're not going to investigate it. Now, these guys should have taken a look back in January of last year. A lot of the evidence has been destroyed by Facebook. A lot of the evidence has been destroyed by the people who posted it up. The police should have done their jobs. The slander in these Facebook groups has resulted in nonstop harassment. These people want to be pissed off at me because I'm still speaking out. Well, with all due respect, I tried getting an honest court date. Fuck the FBI. Every law enforcement officer in America is corrupt. Every one of them. If you're not a corrupt law enforcement agent, type down here in the bottom. And I'll give you my report. I'll send you all of this information. All you got to do is type down there at the bottom. So I know who you are. So I know you got some balls. See, that's the thing. Black Lives Matter pressures the border police. Nobody pressured the police to do anything about what happened to me. Matter of fact, the police paint me as a bad guy, and the Bollingers paint me as a bad guy. And these people want to do what? Pressure the police to do illegal activities. They're already doing illegal activities. You don't have to pressure them to break the law. They're cops. They think they're above the law anyway. What are the chances that the FBI is going to call me back? I'd say about 2%. And that's being on the very, very, very kind side. That's giving them the benefit of the doubt that they might. But I was telling that FBI agent who refused to take my phone call, well, that is the stuff they're supposed to take. I was assaulted repeatedly, hit in the head over 100 times. And I got to try to find a law enforcement agency that'll actually take a goddamn report. The Boulder Police refused. Broomfield Police refused. There are multiple witnesses on my Facebook and on my YouTube who can verify this. There's also lots of people who mysteriously unfriended me, and when I got back a hold of them, they're like, I didn't unfriend you. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Who is it that had access to my Facebook that could have done that? Only the police. Only the police. Now, they couldn't take my report about anything because it was out of jurisdiction. Even if it was in jurisdiction, they had excuses why they couldn't. Like the Adams County detectives at the Broomfield fucking police station. The officers that I called refused to take my report because, well, those officers were out of Broomfield jurisdiction. So I called Adams County, and they refused because Broomfield is out of their jurisdiction. Every excuse they could. While you watched.